Hello, my name is Gabriela Aguilar and I am doing my presentation on the impact of oil spills on ecosystems. What is oil? Oil is a mixture of decomposed organisms that have been transformed underground by pressure over the course of millions of years. It is mainly composed of hydrogen and carbon. Oil has been mass-produced since the 1850s and it has become the most important fuel for humans. It is used to create gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and more. Without these fuels, we would not be able to transport goods or ourselves. We wouldn't even have heat. Oil is also used in the making of plastics, and it is a relatively abundant source, but it is a non-renewable resource. This means that we can run out of it because it's not replenishable. What is an oil spill? There are two types of oil spills. The first is an ocean spill. An ocean spill is defined as the contamination of seawater due to an oil pour, as a result of an accident or human error. It can come from boats, ships, and oil tankers. The second type is a land spill, which is the same thing as an ocean spill, but on land. It can make its way to sources of water, however. It can occur when major pipelines, oil rigs, or tankers explode. It can even occur when natural disasters hit them. There are also things called natural oil seeps, which discharge many gallons of oil into oceans, but this is not considered an oil spill because it is not man-made. How does an oil spill occur? There are various causes, such as a person's carelessness or mistakes, equipment failures. Sometimes equipment can spark and create explosions. Natural disasters, such as hurricanes, and illegal acts like terrorism or vandalism. Where does the oil go? In terms of the ocean, it can rest on top of the water. It may sink below the surface of fresh water, but it's very rare that it happens. It spreads out into a very thin layer that has a rainbow-like sheen. In terms of land, it can soak into groundwater or seep into waterways as runoff. So how can oil be cleaned up? In the ocean, there are many techniques used to clean oil, such as booms, skimmers, and in situ burning. Booms are barriers that float in the ocean and contain the spreading of oil. There are three types: hard booms, which just keep the oil contained in one spot; sorbent booms, which absorb oil; and fire booms, which contain oil in order to burn it. Skimmers are boats or devices that can skim the surface of the ocean and remove oil. In situ burning is the burning of oil as it floats on the surface. When it comes to cleaning up oil on the land, trenches can be dug to contain the oil, or we can manually flood the polluted areas to make the oil float. This technique then allows for skimmers to collect the oil and for in situ burning. The largest oil spill in history. The Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded on April 20th, 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico. It was caused by methane gas which escaped from the well and rocketed up the pipe towards the surface. The explosion caused a leak 5,000 feet below the surface, releasing about 42,000 gallons of oil per day, according to Greenpeace, and it killed 11 people. The containment of the oil took 3 months, ending on July 15, 2010. The estimated amount of oil released within the 3 months was 205 million gallons, which spread over 130 miles. This spill killed thousands of marine organisms, which leads us to the effects of oil spills on ecosystems. So, there were many animals affected by the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, but the three main ones were sea turtles, dolphins, and birds. The amount of sea turtles found with oil on them was 444. The amount of sea turtles found dead because of the oil was 17. The amount of dolphins found oiled was 1, and the amount of dolphins found dead was 5. The amount of birds found with oil was 1,924. The amount found dead was 1,886. And on the map, you can see that the red dots are dead or debilitated sea turtles, and the black dots are dead or debilitated dolphins. There is a higher concentration of red dots closer to the source of leaking oil and on the coasts. So what are the oil spill effects on marine organisms? According to the University of Florida, there are 3 ways oil spills can affect marine life. One of them is ingestion. Animals can eat oil or eat other animals that have been exposed to it. Ingestion can cause gastrointestinal irritation, ulcers, bleeding, diarrhea, and digestive complications. An example of this could be a sea turtle eating contaminated vegetation. The second way oil spills can affect marine life is through absorption. Absorption is when animals have made direct contact with oil. Absorption can damage the liver and kidneys, cause anemia, suppress the immune system, induce reproductive failure, and in extreme cases, kill an animal. For example, a sea turtle's embryos can grow considerably slower than what is normal. And the third way oil spills can affect marine life is through inhalation. Inhalation is when animals inhale volatile organics from oil or from chemicals that response teams spray to break down the oil spilled. Inhalation can cause respiratory inflammation, irritation, emphysema, or pneumonia. Animals that come to the surface for air are affected by this. So, more oil effects on marine organisms. As you can see, mammals with fur, such as the sea otters, lose the ability to insulate hot temperatures when oil sticks to their fur. Birds lose the ability to fly, swim, and dive for food when oil coats their feathers, and turtles inhale oil when they resurface for air. Oil spill effects on land organisms. Oil doesn't allow soil to absorb water. This causes plant life to dry up and die. Oils are known to be used in pesticides, so vegetation could be killed by the spills. Ocean oil spills can affect marshes, which are homes to seaside birds. These birds depend on the grass in the marshes for food and shelter. The grass can be contaminated by oil, which will then be ingested by the birds. Land spills can be destructive to human communities, such as Native American tribes. For example, in 1989, the Inuit tribe in Alaska was badly affected by an oil spill and was forced to depend on government aid. Their community became poor because the surrounding land they depended on was contaminated and destroyed. So, what's the current news on oil spills? The Taylor oil spill. The Taylor Energy Company's oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico has been leaking since 2004. This means it had been leaking for 6 years before the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. The damage that caused the oil spill was most likely caused by Hurricane Yvonne, and about 12,600 to 29,400 gallons of oil are released every day. According to SkyTruth, it's estimated that between 855,000 gallons to 4 million gallons of oil have been spilled from 2004 to 2017. The reason it got so bad is because the company kept it a secret for 6 years, but it was discovered by environmental experts. In September, this company was put under investigation by the Department of Justice for submitting a damage evaluation that underestimated the gallons of oil being released. Another current oil spill was in Colombia this year. The Ecopetrol oil rig burst and released 23,100 gallons of crude oil into the Lizama River at the beginning of March 2018. It killed more than 2,400 organisms, including fish, reptiles, and birds. The communities that lived off of the river lost their way of living and had to be relocated. Their sustenance came from fish and vegetation in the river. 1,080 trees and other vegetation on the river's edge were impacted severely. However, the oil has been cleaned since then. Alright, and these are my resources. Thank you guys for listening.